The cylindrical magnetic antenna.
Time being, you can have Professor Buddhi Marabe. He is the Senior Professor of the University of Peradeniya, the Faculty of Culture. Giving the of Sri Lanka. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Capt.Harsha, for inviting me. I'm so sorry something went wrong with my phone because I'm joining you with my phone. I heard everything what you all said, but unfortunately I could not log in. Logging in the sense could not switch on my mic and the camera. So I am. Thank you, the organizers, for giving me this opportunity, and thank you, Dr. Yannick. I was listening to your full presentation, which gave a lot of information that will be very valuable for Sri Lankan population and Sri Lankan agriculture. I have gone through some of the work in the past where I do understand that what you are trying to do is to have electric influences on plant growth and soil fertility, which according to your own information has done wonders in the conditions. But in order to apply those things in Sri Lanka, I learned Capt.Harsha has also done certain research work. But of course, we have to go ahead and do well-designed, well-planned work with the involvement of Department of Agriculture, Department of Agrarian Development, and where possible, try to have this research work coordinated in the presence of Mahaweli Authority of Sri Lanka as well. Why I'm saying this is, if you want to make it a stay in Sri Lanka, the technology, the recommendation will have to come from mandated institutes. Otherwise, people can come and do anything, but it will not sustain in the future. So my kind request from you, move along with research and development activities through well-designed research protocols, and always get the Department of Agriculture involved in. So Department of Agrarian Development and Mahaweli Authority of Sri Lanka, all government entities will support. Universities can join, but definitely the recommendation should come from the Department of Agriculture. On top of that, I heard Dr. Yannick was talking about these organic technologies as well, that will be suitable for organic farming. I must also suggest at this stage, in order to make sure this gets streamlined under Sri Lankan conditions, whatever the information that you have, scientific information, in a paper format or in a report format, I suggest that you first submit to Department of Agriculture so that they can go ahead and have their research work designed. And also there's a organic agriculture production and processing standard set by the Sri Lanka Standard Institute. The number is SLS 1324 of 2018. It is important, Harsha and Dr. Yannick, to make sure the technique, the principles that we are proposing be incorporated into the Sri Lanka organic standards, because that's then and only then this will have a kind of a quick takeoff even in the organic agriculture sector, but provided that there are enough scientific information that have been generated in Sri Lanka. So what I see all in all on your presentation is that we Sri Lankans have always thought of new technologies, always have made efforts to adopt new technologies, and the technologies that you're talking about with scientific evidence, the most important part is the scientific principle. And once that is proposed, I'm sure there will be a lot of takers even from the Department of Agriculture, but then it has to go through a short process, about 1 to 1.5 year process, in order to make sure recommendations are being made. Don't try to, Capt.Harsha, we should never make an attempt to short circuit the process, because but the end result will be a failure at the end. So let it go through the process and make sure that you have this particular technology established in Sri Lanka in the future. Capt.Harsha, you told that you have done certain work a little while ago, but then even that work would be beneficial only and only if it comes through a scientifically valid protocol that where the Department of Agriculture and other state agencies mandated for giving recommendations for different crops. Suppose that you want to bring it for tea cultivation in the future, Tea Research Institute is the one who should get involved in. For rubber research institute. So let's go through that protocol. This is not a waste of time. My point, I have seen technologies coming in and failing without going through the protocol. People do not accept them at the end, because still, though people look at a lot of other technologies that are being brought into the country, there's a lot of trust to be made. on the recommendations made by the state agency. And if you want to move ahead, if you want to move along and try to see, I'm repeating what I said once again, try to see this particular technology, though we have seen a lot outside the country. If you want to make it established in Sri Lanka and used by farmers through the government blessing, then let's go through this protocol. I'm really happy that quite a number of people who have joined this have learned this, and I heard Capt.Harsha explaining things into Sinhala. So I see, based on the questions asked, the interest that has been generated, but that interest can be made into a reality in terms of practice as well as commercial appearances, only and only if it goes through the certain procedures and protocols that have been adopted in Sri Lanka. So that's my advice with respect to research. We are fully for in supporting new technology, and also keep in mind, if at all you want to bring it to organic agriculture in Sri Lanka, certified organics or even GAP, good agricultural practices, there are standards that have been developed in country. So make sure you follow the Sri Lankan standards. For organic farming is 1324 of 2018. That will give you a sound advice to see which way to look at, what process and procedures that we have to follow in order to make sure the technology prosper in Sri Lanka. So Capt.Harsha, thank you very, very much for giving me this opportunity to conclude. And Sri Lanka is looking at new technologies, novel technologies, whether it's what you call alternate or not, that's not a major issue. If we can make our production and agricultural productivity enhanced, because we always go through production enhancement, productivity enhancement drive. We had a very bad experience on how technology being introduced or proliferated, propagated, promoted in Sri Lanka without proper scientific evidence. That's because of that's a very unfortunate, illogical decision taken to convert a whole country within a flash to organic farming. We are suffering from that. We should never make such mistakes again, but then bring in such new technologies and to see how step by step the Sri Lankan agriculture can revive from the disastrous situation that is in because of man-made decisions, unfortunately, and to see how we can prosper in the future. So, Dr. Yannick, let me thank you for elaborating all these things, the technologies that you have with your own experience. I learned that you also have a company in making sure the technology is developed at different levels. That's a great thing to let us know, I mean, for us to listen to it from horse's mouth. And we will be a nation that will be happy to accept such technologies, but of course, through recommendation coming from the state agencies mandated to do so. So let me wind up, Capt.Harsha. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I wish you all the very best, Dr. Yannick, in your present and future efforts in using this technology for the benefit of agriculture. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
Capt.Harsha. May I made a small comment from my side? I think I must thank Professor Marabe mentioning all these government institutions, but I have to remind irrigated water is supplied to all our agricultural fields, and it is enacted through irrigation ordinance, which is our cultivation meeting also held under the irrigation ordinance. So irrigation department and the irrigation ministry also under the irrigation ordinance also there's a role to play. Even the cultivation meetings, the Kannarasim also held under the irrigation ordinance in Sri Lanka. So not only the Mahaveli Authority, irrigation department and the irrigation ministry has a role to play. Please include this under the list of organizations mentioned by Professor Buddhi Marabe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Chandika. Professor Dr. Yannick, do you have anything to say now?
A big thank you for listening and for your advice in your country. My aim of this presentation was just to inform you of the existence of those techniques and the huge opportunities it can give. And I hope the Department of Agriculture in your country will have a good ear for that they will see the opportunities for their country and that they will begin to do things. I hope so. I can only wish that for your country because I think it's good for the common interest and for the people. Even if they do it by their own, they don't really need me. You have already more than 900 scientific articles in international magazines of science. You have already a lot of work that you can do by yourself, also in your high school or university. So I would be very happy that my presentation like a trick to open the minds to that kind of approach, and I think there is a huge potential for the well-being of the whole country. So that's my viewpoint. So I'm ready at any moment to respond to any demand of any Department of Agriculture of any country that wants to begin to do electroculture and some research and protocols and whatever they want to do. I'm 100% ready to help to that, to help to begin protocols research about electroculture. It's that is completely why I'm here and why I'm doing this. So I hope we have planted the seed, and I hope Sri Lanka will be a fertile soil for electroculture. So thank you very much for listening and for your advice. And Sri Lanka is a beautiful country. I hope one day I can visit your country and the beautiful people that are living in it. Thank you.